Hello, hello. How is everybody? Just getting ready here. Let me fix the music. Let me know if the music's probably a hair too loud. That's better. It's nice, quiet now. I'm just cleaning up some builds here. I did the latest episode of the Career Build Series, episode 105. And so Night Owl needs a little bit of love. This needed a little bit of work. I might be starting a new plane, at least kind of fleshing that out. I really need something I can move a bunch of fuel reasonably economically. I could take the VTOL, but yeah, that's good. I'm glad the music's where it needs to be. So I just did a little work on this sucker. I really want to have a plane that I can move some vehicles around with, and so most of my stuff's a little bit on the small side for that. So I just did a quick little test with this sucker here. Just still trying to get this thing. It tries to stall a little bit. So like right now I use a lot of property numbers and menus in here now. And so for example, like here, clutch application RPS is at 10. Let's see. Idle's fine. 10's fine. Trying to think. Let's go up to, I don't know, let's go up to 12 on this. I get a little bit of a stall on this when I first go off in first gear, and it's a single engine, cylinder engine, so I think that's part of it. Park brake. I think it's a release. Yep, release. All right, park brake release. That needs to go in there. So let's test it with that new number. So with a small motor, sometimes you have to rev way up before you get in to build up torque, you know. So, all right, 5 is off. In gear, let's listen. All right, so that's still not doing it, even at that. So let me see. Let's go back to 10, and then the other way you can change this if it's having an issue with, you know, it's not stalling, but it has a little bit of hesitation I'm not a fan of. So like right here, what we can do is we can slow this down a little bit. So we'll do 0.001. Now let's try, yeah, 1. If 1 seems a little slow to me, then we can go in between and do 0.002. So like, let's listen. I'll turn the sound up here so you guys can hear it. 5, upshift. Listen to the engine when I take off. Alright, so you see there's no hesitation there, but it takes a while for it to start. So one thing I could try as well is, that is fine, the speed. What we can do here is, instead of going all the way to 0, let's try, sometimes this doesn't really work, let's try 0.2. And then we'll minimize 0.2, and so the clutch will start a little bit higher, and it might try to move us a little bit. I have to test it out, so. So you see it's moving us. Alright, so that's alright. Let's go, I don't want it at 0.2. Let's try 0.1. Really don't want the clutch engaged at all, but this is, let's go to 2 here. I have a plane for cargo containers, so I'm looking to do. I've been wanting to do a 4-engine kind of. Let's not do that. Let's. All right. So put it in gear. Parking brakes on. So let's try it again. So that's working fine now. And then really we shouldn't care about if it has a little application. As you can see, it's starting to roll, but if I put it in neutral, I don't think I'm in neutral yet. Yeah, I'm not in neutral yet. Getting to neutral. So there we go. We're rolling backward. Am I in reverse now? I am in reverse. Alright, so we're good. I think that fixed that up a little bit. Let's go back and we'll save this up. So I just did a couple things on this. So this has presently, we finished up the generator module in this. So this has some cool modules. It has these GPU generators, ground power units, and so that's nice. We have a generator that can go in the back of that. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the diesel tank right here. And so then I'm going to do one here. Let's go replace color. Try that blue. I like that blue. So this is the same thing. The difference with this is this is going to be jet fuel. So they should be different colors. So mini truck, jet tank. Mini truck, tank, jet. Okay. And I think I'm supposed to be taking, did I have? Okay, that's out. I just want to make sure there's no spawner in there. So that's jet fuel in there. So another one that would be kind of cool is, let's do this. So let's grab this tank here and let's paint it. Maybe a red. I don't know which I prefer. Probably that. And what we'll do with this one is this will be for firefighting. So that'd be kind of cool to do. So let's see. I need to change that. Let's see. Pump out. That's what we want. Let's see. Water. Let's just change that. So I have to do that on the jet fuel as well. Water level in gallons. I think this goes up to like, we'll change that to 800. And that's good. Okay, that's good. So let's see. And then where does this sit in? It sits in with 1, so it has to go above this. So let's go right here. And I'll take a hose anchor. I'm not 100% sure if I just didn't delete something I needed in there. So let's look. Nope, I did delete something I needed in there. So let's go. I deleted out the meter. So sorry, guys. I'll check chat in a second. Kind of just in the middle of this. All right, there we go. And then we want a hose. All right, so now that should be able to have firefighting gear, and then I'm going to bang in a spawner in this. And this is pretty simple. This can, we'll just put fresh water in here. All right, good. And then one thing I wanted to, okay, so these do have the ropes on top. Let's save that. As mini truck tank. Water. Okay, just checking some chat here. Yeah, I'll show you, Big Dog, I'll show you my large VTOL for cargo containers. At the end of the day, it needs to be a VTOL because of the way the devs set it up. Yes, currently I'm working on PACD modules. Alright, so Big Dog, here is my VTOL, my big VTOL that will eventually be doing cargo containers. It still needs some loving, but it's not flying exactly how I would like it to. So let me see if I can find it. It's back here somewhere. I'm on and off with this thing quite a bit. Where is it? Where are we at here? VTOL. Let's go up to top. So this is the cargo container. This is the one. Oh, Jesus, that's loud. Let's fix those sounds here. This is my cargo container plane. So this is what would... This can haul 2 cargo containers. So this is the one that would be used for that. So I don't want something this huge. I want a 4-cylinder, probably turboprop to run. But this is the this is my gonna be my big cargo, Johnny. Will be this one. So let's see. I wanted to work on the Night Owl a little bit. I did that career build series today and found a couple things I want to change, so I actually wrote some notes for that. Let's see what I need. So one of the issues I had in the career build series today was, so the way these engines are hooked up, I can run off of either of the engines. I can run both props and both ducted fans. So the issue is this is each engine takes from its own tank, and they should be taking from both tanks, because what happened was I equalized the fuel and I burned the, when the left engine is on, the port engine, this fuel tank burns off that, and this one burns off the starboard, and they should be piped into both. So I need to find that. Where are we at here? Where is it? Right there, I believe. Okay, so let's see. Symmetry. And so let's see, where am I? I need to make sure I don't cut into anything I need here. So let's see where we're at here. Goes in there, what's in here? Alright, comes down there. And let's do this. Let's cut this right there. Alright, so that is where the engines feed. And we have symmetry on. And we'll do one-way valves on this. So cuts. I have to just kind of think, because I don't want them to gravity feed, because then when I turn, it will end up filling the tanks. So we'll go like so. All right, good. And that is now, so they're joined up, and then we want to cut here is fine. And then we want a one-way valve. And let's paint this black for now so I can actually see the arrow. And that this way, these are one-ways, so it can't allow, it won't auto-equalize the fuel, because I don't want to auto-equalize the fuel, so. Alright, now we do fluids. Alright, so now this system will, this will allow the fuel to go one direction, or this will allow, for example, if I have just the port engine on, it will make it so that it can draw from both sides. So the fuel will suck in from this tank, go up to the port engine. It will also suck in from this side and go up to the port engine. And then that way, I don't have to worry about if the tanks become unequal. It won't shut down an engine like it did in the episode today. So good. Read a little chat here. Yeah, compressed air. If you go on the, let me find it. I actually showed somebody this the other day. I think it was Citrus. I shared the comment with. Go to the official. Let's see. Find the announcements. They said it was going to take months for that to come out. So that's planned for months. I sent Citrus the quote. Let me find the quote. Where's General? Here it is. So it says, in this post, we discussed the upcoming changes to fluid pressure and new support for compressed gases. This update isn't planned to release for months, so multiple months, but we've been working hard on these mechanics, and there is loads to discuss. That quote is from June 30th. So they said it would take months, and it is just less than a month. So likely it's going to take many more months. Simple Lua screen for your truck, that's cool. I am just working on some different builds, trying to get some of this stuff kind of fixed. So did a good test in the career build series today. I had to record it twice because I had an issue, and then almost had another issue. What is that? Okay, meter and spawner. Copy, that's that. Let's see. Okay, so the pivot here needs to be slowed. So this pivot's a little bit rambunctious, so it's at 1. Let's go to point, let's try 0.3, see if that works. I need to change up, down, and then I just fix the fuel, so that's good. Let's go ahead and spawn this and do a test. I don't. I have done nothing out in the ocean with oil drilling. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's just too much setup for me. I would rather drill from the land. It becomes a, you know, it's kind of fun doing some of the logistics sometimes. That is just like a logistics headache for me. So I just do it from the land. Okay, why is that going down already? Oh, because of the speed. Okay, that's fine. So let me see. Let's try that. So this is sagging because when you decrease the speed, sometimes it ends up making the pivot weaker, so that's not ideal. Alright, so let's get in this. Alright, so now let's go press 4 to go out. So as you can see, it drops it down automatically. So I automated a lot of this, so it's pretty much single touch. So for example, if I press and hold 3, it will suck this in now. And it will raise me back up like so. So that's a better speed. Before it was like jamming me down, and especially in first person, it was a little bit jarring. So that's better there. And then when I suck myself in there, it goes up automatically like so. And that works, so that's good. So I redid this, so it has a distance sensor there, and this is PID controlled, so that it automatically maintains the distance via PID. Alright, so that's done. Another thing I need to work on this is... So let's go in the winch panel here. Alright, let's get in there. Alright, and where's my... Okay, here. So I want to go up-down counter. And we'll do increment 1, reset value 0, enabled -1, 1. Alright, and then I want pulses. Because the issue I have now is if the... the problem I'm having now is I always get in that situation where I'm using toggles of 1 and 2. And so if, let's say I'm going up as 1, and I press 1, and then I press 2 to go down, I forget to press 1, you'll be stalled there because they're both selected. Then you have to try to remember which one to deselect, so that can be a little bit of a pain. So by doing this, I'm going to loop this sucker out, and this will make it so that the up-down's a little bit better. And so what will happen is we'll start at 0 when I... these are going to change from toggles to presses on the harness. And then if it's -1, it's going to go down. And then when I press the other one, or 1 will go up. So when I press 1 to go up, it's going to, let me do thresholds. It's going to go up, and then it will go to 0 and then back down. So I don't have to worry about it getting stuck anymore. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. And this will be -1. -1. So up will be 1, that will be there. These will go like that. And then this will go there, and that will go there. So that will change the way that works to be a little bit more user-friendly. All right, update you. And then I need to fix the harness for that. So the harness needs to go, which this isn't going to be the harness, but I'll have to fix it over there too. So this is going to be now push instead of toggle. Push spawn, and I need to fix the actual winch too. Because this setup won't always be in there. I'll take it out. So check a little chat while this ramp's coming down. Yeah, but I have done none of the stuff for out in the ocean drilling. It's just, you know, I'd have to build a ship, which, you know, a ship to be that extensive, like I could do it with a barge reasonably quick, but to build like a proper drilling ship would be like hundreds of hours to go out there, and then I have to test it, and so... Alright, so now if I press 2... There we go. Press 1. Press 2. So that's better. Now I just alternate with 1 and 2. Alright, good. So, let's see. That's good. Alright, so that is set. What was the other thing I needed to do on that? So that is about it on this. So that's good. Let's go ahead and save this. So I'll save this as one of the Night Owl backups. Alright, and then I want to check this. Where is it? This needs to be fixed now. So 1 will be pushes. Pushes. All right, good. Let's see if I have a node on that night owl. There was something else I wanted to do on this. So, for example, I don't want to be able to. I don't want that to go up or down if I'm not in the seat. So I want it to stop if I'm not in the harness. So I don't know if I have a node for that. Let's see. Distance sensor. I need that crap. What do you harness? Okay, that will work. Let's see what the occupied channel on the harness is. All right, what's the occupied channel? So the occupied channel is where? I might not have the occupied. Okay, it is on there. 32. Okay, same as a regular seat. 32. So what I want to do here is, so if I jump out of that, like say, for example, I am in the water and I start having the winches come up, and then I jump out of the harness, I don't want the winches to keep going all the way up because now I'm going to have to no-clip to get back up there. So instead what's going to happen is if I fall out of harness or I jump out of the harness, it's going to reset this, and that will go to the 0 position. So I'll do Control CV. This is channel 32 is occupied. 32, and then we do a not. And that will reset, and then we'll grab that up there, there. And then all this can come down like so. So that will, I screwed that one up. There we go. This one needs to go up too. So this will, if I fall out of harness, it's not going to keep the, it's not going to keep going up, and then I'm stuck there and I can't get back down. So that fixes that. All right. So anytime I fall the harness, it stops. Is it possible to make turbo/supercharged 2-module engines in Stormworks? Yes, I have an AFR tutorial on that. So you can't make a turbocharger at present. A turbocharger uses the exhaust gases to turn the turbine. We can't do that. Hopefully in the pressure update we'll be able to do that. But for example, like this mini truck here, most of my vehicles, I have a... Is this one? This is probably the only one that's not turbo. No, here it is. Supercharged. So a supercharger is generally belt-driven, but it's a torque-driven impeller. So I have a pipe coming off of the drive shaft, and it goes into this impeller. It brings air in, and then it forces it into the air manifold to increase the maximum amount of air. And then when you go into the engine, you have to do stoichiometry stuff. So what it will do is this will automatically read the air, the fuel, and the temperature, and it will automatically adjust it. So I have my modular engine tutorial. There's an AFR section on that talks about that. So can do that. Let's see. I don't need to open that. Reading through some more chat. Seafloor oil drilling. That's interesting. Yep. Gotta do it on the bottom. Yeah, I just, it's kind of like if I had a ship that was ready for it, and it's just I'd have to build a drilling ship, and then like it's a big to-do to get out there and test it. And so and then I kind of get, I get stuck doing that because it's like if I'm 100 hours into a ship, I don't want to go abandon it and go do something else. So even if I'm not feeling like working on that ship, I'd feel kind of obligated to try to get, get to the end goal. What is the point of the winch life vest? The point of the winch life vest is to rescue people. That's what I did today in the career build series video. Let's see, where's desktop? Here is what I did today with it. So, as you can see, you hover the plane over the rescue, and you lower the winches down, and you rescue people. That's what that's all about. Yep. So I ride up in one, and then I have the other one. I don't know if I did or not. Let me double check it. It doesn't matter. I have one in the plane, and it's, let me check it really quick. See a harness. See if, he was asking if I saved it. Maybe I didn't save it. Yep, thank you. So those should be pushes. Let's save it. Alright, so that's fixed. Thank you. I would have got out there and been like, what the hell's going on there? Appreciate that. Not too much, Jason. Just worked on a couple builds, just fixing a couple things. Did a career build series today with the Night Owl. Did a cool rescue. And so the couple things I had to fix up. We'll see you later, Diablo. Yeah, my phone, the battery's been terrible lately, so it died on my walk just as I got home. Yeah, you get one person at a time. I don't like to have it so it's so, like, I wouldn't want to have, like, be able to rescue 20 people in an instant. You know, I enjoy having it take time. I think you get some better emergent gameplay there. Like, for example, the fire was getting out of control. And so, like, what I did was I actually threw all the people in the water to swim. And that way, and the tugboat actually rolled over. So if you watch today's video I released, you know, I got everybody out because the fire, I was never going to be able to get that fire under control. So I put them all in the water, and then the tugboat rolled over. And so if it was like an instant, like 2-second rescue for me, I wouldn't have got that emergent gameplay. So I kind of like a little bit more realistic, deliberate play. Oh, nice. That's cool. Which VR headset are you getting? I have the original Vive. Let's see. So let's start working on something new. I kind of want to look at something really quick. And so this is kind of the issue I'm having with some of my builds is I showed on one of the live streams that I can fit that mini truck just barely in here. It's a little bit tough, but I can just get it in here, but it scrapes. So what I want to do is, what is this? That is 7. So let's say 9 or 11. I'm probably thinking 11. If I can get an airplane with 11 in it, I think we'll be in good shape. So let's check it here. So what's that? 5. So there's 5 right there. So that will be 11 wide. And then I'm running track segments here. And so that's kind of where I want to be. I already have a name for this. I've already envisioned the release video for this. So this is 11 wide. I don't think I have anything 11 wide. Again, I don't want it to be enormous. I kind of want it to be like, so that would be the size. And so I keep building stuff with the hopes of putting some vehicles in, and then I end up not making it big enough. And so I do have some small vehicles, but I want to be able to put some vehicles in planes. And so let's go down. And so let's put some tracks in here. I'm just kind of trying to see. I don't want this to be enormous either. I kind of like to have a reasonable sized plane. All right, so let's grab a couple vehicles and see what fits, what doesn't. So, for example, let's grab the tow truck. So the tow truck is just going to make it because of the mirrors. So this will just fit in with the mirrors. So there's a good chance this does not fit in. But that is kind of, this would be max size of what would fit in, something like that. So, you know, I'd have to have folding mirrors to put it if I wanted mirrors on this, something like that. Let's check all my vehicles here, what I could fit in here. So the insect, so this car here is standard width. So this will fit in there. As you can see. Okay, good. I kind of want it a little bit cramped. The insect, definitely. The insect is designed to be as wide as the mini truck, so insect. I designed the insect to fit in Seagull, but it wouldn't fit because it should fit, but it hits on things, so it won't go in. So that's the insect in there. So that'll work. All right. All right, sounds good on that. Let's go clear that. And then with cargo plane, I need a little bit on the low side. So let's play with this a little bit. I just kind of want to get a shape going at least. So that will go like that. And then in order to make it so that it can load in with a reasonably low cargo ramp, I can't have it I can't have it too high off the ground like this. So like this would be my belly, like there. And it puts pretty flat sides on it. And so what's that with our height-wise? Let's check it. That is 10. So I don't want it enormous. So let's go to 8. And then we'll start curving this one up. So let's try. And then generally on a lot of these, especially cargo planes, they tend to be reasonably flat on the bottom, and then you go into more of a curvature on the top of the fuselage. And can we get 4s in there? No. All right, so we can go another 2, which I don't like to go 2s like that. I could go 2, 1s, 2s. I think that's what I'll do. Let's try that. Let's go 2s here. It makes the tail tough if I switch to 2s here, but it's not impossible. Let's try 2s, 1, 2s. Two, 1, and then we'll stick a 2 there. I just kind of get the fuselage. I could put 4s in there now. Let's try that. I'm digging that. That's not too bad. That smooths out pretty nicely. I like that. Okay. All right, let's do that. So usually I start with the cockpit first. I'm starting with cargo this time because the problem is I start with the cockpit and then I don't have my cargo requirements done the way I want them. So. Let's see. Alright, so that'll be the interior. That looks pretty good. We have the cargo deck there, and then I can put some fuel underneath. So that works pretty well. I could even drop the frame down and put fuel in the wings. That's a thought, to get even a lower cargo deck. Yeah, that will work. I could do that. Because I don't want this to be too big. So let's go. And then this is my standardized track width that works with all my modules. Problem is I usually use this area underneath here. I can put a lot of microcontrollers in there. It's going to do a double thick wing probably on this. I'm not sure though. Let's stick with this up. I would rather be able to make sure I can put any excess fuel I need in here and microcontrollers and hide them in there. So I kind of like to have that. Let me check up a chat here. Oh, you're getting Oculus Quest 2? That's interesting. Yep. Yeah, I like VR. VTOL VR is my favorite VR game. Unfortunately, I get too nauseous with like running. Anything where you have to run, so I have to do the teleportation, which isn't the worst. But that makes me a little nauseous. Airplanes are fine. Like a big thing that, like when I first started flying, I'd get nauseous. But a big part of it's knowing where to look, so that helps. Like I can fly and I know where to look. Same thing, like when you're actually really flying, you need that. Oh, alright, yeah. Sometimes I never have any problem playing by myself. I come up with good strategies and scenarios for myself. How's it going there, Niv? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the tech tree. I just always want the parts. So it's like, if I got to, I feel like I'd want it for one of my builds and just be like, I wish I had it. So I never use the tech tree. Yeah, it's just like, especially if you have to go, I don't know how it even works. Like if you had to go for a part that you don't even really want because you need the next part, it's like, it feels like a grind to me. So let's do car. Where the hell are we here? So So this car is going in here. All right, height-wise, we're good. So that was something else. I don't really care about... mini truck needs to go in here. Let's... The tow truck, I think, is going to be too tall. Let's see if I can click on the right stuff here. Where are we at here? Let's try the tow truck again. You know, I try to build some limitations in, and I want each of my vehicles to do their own thing. And so, for example, like that big VTOL cargo plane I showed you, like this would fit in if I went to, this might not even fit at low deck. Yeah, this is not going to even fit in if I lowered the deck, so that's fine. I really don't want this to be enormous because, again, like I showed you, I have, let's save this. I already have a name for it, what I want it to be. The Albatross. All right, Albatross is going to go save. Okay, so like, for example, I have that large VTOL cargo plane. This thing, you know, is very large, and so like, you know, I have the this in here as it is, but let's see. So like the tow truck in here. Keep not clicking on the right thing. So like the tow truck. Like this is the tow truck in here. This plane's quite cavernous, so like you can see this will fit in there. So I like to, you know, I don't want one plane that will do everything. I want to be like, okay, if I want to carry something like the tow truck, I have to take this big Johnny out. And so it gives me a reason to use the different builds. So I kind of like to have a little bit of, you know, weakness. I want things to be pretty narrowly focused because I'd rather have a reason to build something new. Like I'm already thinking of building something new because I can't fit some stuff in there, and I go back to the builds. So it's not like I'm losing them. All right, so that is, so cargo bay is kind of thought out. That's pretty good. And let's start working on cutting this in for cockpit. So we'll do a 4x4 up here. And so what are we going down like that? That's probably there, I'm thinking, for cockpit. And so I want to get this kind of fleshed out to make sure I'm not going to have problems. So that can go there like so, and that goes there. And then I need to go 2x4 here. All right, and then this is going to be a problem here. Now let's see what this is going to turn into here. This can be a nightmare with these twos here, so... So I need to make sure these are all going to flush together and not be obnoxious. Alright, so that fixes that. That's screwy. Because when you switch to a 4x4, it becomes 1x1. These are 2s, so this is not going to combine well there. I would have to go to... I have to go like that. Which is gross. That's not going to do it for me. Yeah, so that's not going to happen there. So let's see. So I could theoretically go to 2x4s here and make it a little bit more of a bulldog nose on there. So maybe like to there. Let's play with these angles, see what I can do, because this is now you see these will join up like that, so that's fine. I'll play with this in a second. Let's see. Kind of want to make sure all my angles are going to work out here for me. So like this will mesh like that. So that's not too bad. A little bit abrupt, but I don't have much choice. I'm going to make it work, so. Alright, and then let's see, grab 2x2 here. So that's why I kind of like wipe, you know, they talk about like doing white boxing. I try to white box my stuff to try to get it where it needs to be. And then this needs to go to a 1, and then grab 2 bys here. So we'll see how hideous this looks. you know, could end up being kind of like a C-130, which I dig, which that would be kind of cool. So I almost actually went to try to go fly C-130s at one point. All right, that's in there. So I just want to kind of see if I can get a reasonable shaped cockpit out of this, because it's pretty fat. It will take me a while to get this thing slimmed down. So problem is the 2x have screwed me here. So let's see if I need to switch to 1s to get this to work for me. So let's go, because I need that for the windows, need to be 1s. So that's going to be a problem. So I need to convert off into 2x, from 2x to 1s. So this area is kind of a problem child for me. But we're starting to get there where I'm cutting this down. The AC going. That is starting to cut in all right. So I'm going to quickly try to throw a windshield in here and just kind of see what a cockpit would look like and how bad it's going to be. If I can get it to be reasonable, you know, I can stick with this. If not, I have to kind of try something different. So it's not too bad so far. We have to see how these windows match up. The windows are going to be the main limiting factor. Oh, come on, man. I don't want to XML in a bunch of windows either. Let's see. 2x3x4s maybe. Let's see. So yeah, see, they cut in on 1x2s. That's the problem. Yeah, see how they cut in, so I don't want that much of an eyebrow on this sucker, so let's see what I can do. It's one of the reasons why I tend to start with the cockpit, is the cockpit's tough to mesh up if you screw it up. So what I could do is switch these out to 2s. Let's try something. So if you do these 2x, you notice they now go down to 1s. So that makes it a little bit easier to get a cockpit in there. Again, I really wish they'd do a big window pass. That's something that's low-hanging fruit people have been asking for a long time, and I think they would really please people if they would do that. Get a little window pass in there and just please the crowd for a little bit. You know, that would, people would enjoy that. All right, let's go. So the nice thing with this is we can convert to 2s here, to 4s. So let's go. That should have stayed. Let's cut this, cut this, cut this. All right, I think I should be able to get this fixed up. So let's see. So I need to go at least double in order to get to 4s. So that would, okay, right there. All right, so now I can put a 4 on top of this. So here's 4s. Where the hell's the 4? There it is. So there we go. That now is a 4. So I want it low. And I need to extend out. So we'll see where this is going to end up. So we'll cut this and we'll move this to start with. Oh, come on, man. One block is going to be a pain. Okay, that's good. Cut that there. Cut you. All right, so that we can merge this up here and get this fixed up, I think. All right, so I'm looking at the height. That's a little bit better, I think. All right, let's see what we can do here. This is where it becomes a pain trying to get matched up. I may have to go 1 lower, because I'm not going to be able to match that. So let's go one lower. So I have to go cut, and then I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 1. So I really have to extend this out and get the cockpit low in order to do this. Generally, you're stepping up into the cockpit, so I have to kind of play with this. That is really heinous. We'll see how it looks, but it's going to be pretty heinous. Once I get the cockpit kind of fleshed, I can try to fix it. But we shall see if I'm able to fix it. Alright. This is where it gets to be a pain. These 2x are really obnoxious here, trying to get these in. So I could probably switch down to the 2s there. This is where it gets obnoxious trying to fix this. I just don't have enough blocks to do all this stuff that I need to do. So change there maybe. Do the change over there. Let's try this. Yeah. It's just hurting on not enough blocks here. Mosquito's gonna have to get killed here in a second. That is where it's ugly right here. Trying to get this fixed up. Yeah, I'm just reading some chat. No Margaritaville today. I'm in a career game with the custom menu turned on. So that's how I pretty much always do it. Just set it up like that. This is where it becomes a pain trying to get this fixed up. Let's go like this. Let's save this really quick. Trying to make the I don't want it to look. Let's see. Let's find something. I don't have anything this size though. That's a problem. Let's see what the night owl. See where the night owl is. So the night owl goes right in there and then it terminates. That's double 2s into a flat. So it's gonna be tough to get this angle. You have to be like there's certain blocks that just do not like to work together. So like cutting into this this 2 here is a mess. So we might have to abandon the 2s here, which isn't the end of the world, but I need to get this angle to work essentially is what I'm working on now. So let's try that. Let's go. We have the height, so we should be all right. All right, so that goes like that, and then let's go up here. So it's gotta be like that, I'm thinking. Yeah, it's gonna have to be how this is, in order to get in there. So, tends to be why I don't go 2s on that. 2s on 2s there, is it just tends to be kind of tough to get it lined up the way I want it. So let's run with this. Alright, and then whatever I had in here, I think they were the 2x2x4s. My symmetry's on. This window's just never got moved. Alright. So what are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, so windows. 2x3x4. Flicky camera, thanks. New mouse is like super sensitive, so I have to kind of work with it. Nope, that was, of course, it was the next one over. This one? I thought it was 5s, but I guess I was right the first time. There we go. Which one is it? I hate working with the windows. There we go. Come on. This one is a pain. There we go, right there. Alright, and then I want threes, I think. Nope. 2s. Alright, so that will go there. Alright. So let's go, let's see. Try 2s maybe on this. Just want to get the shell of this built. I'm not going to go too far probably into planning this plane out, but I just want to see. I've been kind of thinking about it, so it's nice to kind of have at least a start. Then if I'm feeling like playing with it, I can. So, all right, that's there. Nice. I just kind of want to get some of the shape of this fleshed out. Then if I feel like working with it, I can play with it. So, let's go. Alright, nice. Alright, so that cuts that in. Let's see, window 1x2 here. I meant to put in a 1x3 and I put in a 1x2. I need to check the headroom in here because I want overhead panel. So overhead panel, we'll cut in there. Fine, that's good. So we have the front decking there. Overhead panel there. I can trim that out. That works. Then we clean this up a little bit here. And of course it's a 3. Why wouldn't it be a 3? That's where we get screwed. So I'm going to cut, this has to be, trying to see how far the seat back has to go. How far can I get these seats in? I need 2 blocks off the seat. So this is when it becomes a pain, as the seats have such huge collisions on them as well. So it's tough to get those in. Stick a couple seats in here, see what we're looking at. Alright. So put 2 seats in. What are we talking? A 3 wide on the panel. 3 wide panel's nice. Okay, that'll be good. Just needs to go down at least 1 more. So I need 2 off these panels. There's up against the panel. That's 1, 2 off. That's right there. This is going to be a little bit of a pain, this eyebrow window right there. So where is that? Is that something I need? What is that? Okay, so that is the corner piece here. So I should, can I fix this up with something else? Probably not. Probably not. No, that's gonna have to be, yeah, that's gonna have to be squared in. I might be able to get 2s. No, can't do that. It's gotta be a 2x. Alright, what's the seat height? Seat height could probably, yep, seat height can definitely drop down 1. So that's fine. Those can be 2x's. And then we'll grab the seat. Of course, it's going to try to grab the window if I go that far. Cut that. Go down 1. With the seats. Because your head sticks above the seat quite a bit. So we're looking at there for the seat height. It's not bad. Ready a little chat? What do you mean auto extend retract? So custom. Yes, that's what it is. So it's a career game, but you put on the custom menu, which allows you to put in all the options you want. Just working on some builds here and there. I'm currently. Have you been listening to that song too? Yeah, that's that was one of the reasons. One of the main reasons this is named Albatross is so that that song can be played in its intro. Let's see. So I want 1 there. Space. This is screwing me up right here. So I should be able to fix this with a 2 and a 1. We'll do a 2 and a 1 and fix this. Let's see what I can do here. Let's just see here. So actually, I should be able to cut this out here, and then... Yeah, I need to be able to see out this window. Yeah. So I need this 3 back, or else I'm not going to be able to see out the window. This is where it gets obnoxious. So let's cut that, and then I'm going to try to put in a filler here to fix this a little bit. This is where it becomes a pain, is I need a 3x block to fix this. I think that's my solution for now. Where is the... I need this. So I want to be able to see out the window. I don't need to be able to see all out the window, so like that is kind of nice. And then this can go away. And then I just need to put in... like even a 1x4 would fit in there fine. Like that is kind of nice. Alright, so that will work for me. And what are we doing there? Cutting that out. Alright. And then I want... I was kind of wanting this to look a little bit old school, but it's starting to look a little bit more modern than I'd like, but I really can't do much about it. So for now, I'm just going to do this. I'll fix this later. I need to get this kind of little bit of nose shaping in here. Let's try going out a little bit. That's going to be too beaky. I want this to be kind of like a C123 provider kind of deal. So there, and then I want to go, so I need to start getting down if I want this not to be overly beaky, so let's go 1 more on the 2. Then we'll switch to a flattening pass. That's pretty good there. See what I can do for matching this up in a second here. But I want to just get this kind of where it needs to be. Oh, come on, man. I just had a nice space. There we go. Okay, good. It's gonna look, I think, too sharp. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it's coming along all right. It's a little bit sharper than I'd like there, but we'll see what we can do. Okay. Are we at the base of this yet? This is going to cause me problems, these friggin' 2s down here. The 2s, meeting 2s up with 1s is a pain. Okay. So I might be able to get, let's try this. Let's try this. Get out of there, you. Here, here, and here. Let's cut that. Okay, let's do 2 buys. Alright, and then... Ugh, that's gonna screw me up right here. That is going to screw me up here, so I have to worry about the bottom getting unscrewed. Let's see. Gonna have gear in the hips, so I could go 4s maybe even. Let's try a 4. Alright, see if I can't join a 4 up. Probably not. I would need to go 1 more back on this to get that to work. I was trying to get general shaping done, so at least I'm kind of ahead of the game a little bit on this build. Do a little shaping in here, see what I can come up with anything I like. Alright. Alright, not too bad. I gotta try to fix the bottom at some point, though. So, get into fixing the bottom here in a second. So it could fix the bottom by, let's see where we at there, 2 and out this. I think that's what I'm gonna end up having to do. See how bad this screws me up. I don't think it will. That's not gonna work with trying to get all these problem errors fixed. Be out of chat for a second as I'm doing that. So it's not coming along too badly. And then this can be nose wheel in there. A little bit flat, but we'll have hips on it. That'll help shape it a little bit. I'm going to start working on the tail right away just to fix that, because that's going to need fixing. Probably, so. The tail and the ramp. So do the tail early so I can screw with that right away. Yeah, it's got to be a 2x to fix this section here. And so this is where it can get screwed up, is I try to make it 2 extra wide because I have to be able to scoop into the tail a little bit. What am I doing here? I need a 1x2 is what I need. Okay. So I'm just trying to get the biggest problem errors, which is the cockpit and the tail kind of fleshed. So what's my width now? So my width is going to be cut down again, but I can ramp that. So we're looking at a width of 9. So that is the improvement that I needed. So that will fit. Try to get this tail figured out here. I went with 1x's on the top, so that really helps to get this tail integrated here. I'm just going to try to get this done a little bit, and then I'll be back in chat. Alright. What are we looking at? 4s. That's not terrible. Alright, so this would be where the ramp would go. And then I'd like a conventional tail on this, so I'm just trying to get the shape ready. It's going to be stretched, but I can put in center sections. So let's see, medium. Large is enormous. That might be a large, I guess. It's gonna be a bit large. See, what do I want to run here? Kind of a modern fast tail coming down, I think, into maybe like a Soviet era wedge out. So yeah, digging that. Digging on that. So that comes up there, bingo, and then this will go up in there, bingo. Digging that. That looks good. Height's right, modern with a little bit of a flash flare on it. Beautiful. Check chat here. Oh, thank you, Big Dog. Appreciate that. Let's see where I'm at here. That's an interesting idea, Big Dog, the auto extend extract. I don't like too much automation. I like to be in control. Just kind of, it's a pilot thing. What is that? Looks evil. Cap plushie when? I do have a merch store. If you guys have any ideas for merch you want, let me know. That's always something that, you know, it's kind of hard for a lot of us to just try to guess what people want. So if there's anything you do want, let me know. I can try to get that in, some stuff in there. I'm digging on that, so this needs to be stretched, of course. So let's go ahead. I'm digging on the shapes now. Shapes came together. That's one of my recommendations from struggling doing airplanes at times is get the cockpit and the tail done early. Because that's often when you're going to get the build to the point where you're like, okay, it's just not going to work, and you can choose to either continue or not. That looks pretty good. I want a little bit on the stub end, but not terribly stub. So let's go to where are we at here. So I'm gonna copy that, and now we can do the stretch. So you know, always trying to stream. Oh, that was a guess, dude. That worked perfectly. That was a beautiful guess. All right. So that's kind of general shaping. I think general shaping looks pretty good. That's gonna be kind of as a modern cockpit design, looking pretty good. But, you know, so I try to make everything, like, again, have its own job. So, like, this is not going to carry everything. The bigger VTOL cargo jet, that is going to be responsible for that. So that kind of came together. That lengthwise looks good. I don't want it overly long. I don't want it to be super huge. So this is what we're looking at size-wise. That looks pretty good size-wise. That's what I'm kind of envisioning. This is a little bit chunk in there, but it's not bad. I could probably fix it a little bit. Let's try something, see how bad it is. But I think we're all right here. Let's try something in here. Let's go. It has to end. That has to kind of be in there, unless I want to. No, it has to be there. Yeah, that can't go there. I'm just thinking out loud here. It's kind of what we're dealt. That's kind of what we're left with. We have to be that way. I have to convert here, so. So that's not too bad. Has a little bit of an eyebrow in here. I want an eyebrow because I need to be able to sit. So when I sit in here, for me, visibility is important that I have correct visibility. So, like, you're going to sit in the seat here, and that's good visibility. And then I need to be able to come 90 degrees. Actually, I'm not too bad. If I cut the window down, I think we'd actually be all right. So let's try that. That might fix this a little bit here. I think I can actually get away with a cutting this window down here. If I can do that, I'm going to be really happy. Let's see. Because, you know, people overestimate how the visibility is in some of these planes, like especially airliners. Like, you don't need much visibility, you know, and they don't want to put in a bunch of holes that pressurization can leak out. So, you know, I'm kind of used to that more constrained cockpit design. You know, not a huge fan of bubbles, bubble canopies, you know, but that's just because that's what I'm used to, you know. Let's see. Do I have one anywhere? Right here. That's digging that line better. Let's go see what the visibility is. That's not too bad. It cuts here a little bit more than I like. But that shapes up better, so. Let's end it abruptly there. I don't think that's... Yeah, that's fine. And that will fix my visibility issue that I'm not digging on, so. And we'll go 1x4 here. Then we can cut here. This gives me even more cockpit space there. Feels a little bit more homely. I could put in a kit bag holder there, so that's... I'm digging that. Let's go check... Oh. Come on, man. Let's spawn that and check viz. I'll get in chat in a second here. Yeah, like the cat plushie. Yeah, just whatever you guys are thinking for, you know, for any sort of merch. I'll have to look, see if they have any plushies. A train. Again, thank you, Big Dog. Appreciate that. I have, let's check my hours here. I have 4,777.3 hours. Exactly. That's when, you know, a lot of this stuff I see, but I don't touch it right away. So, like, right there, that's about the visibility you have in an airliner. You don't have a lot of vertical window space. You're kind of compacted in here, and then the forward visibility is going to get worse because that's what I like. And so, for example, we're going to go... can I go in here? Nope. I'm not going to be able to put it where I want it. So I might not put a mode control panel on here. It's probably not going to have the mode control panel up here, which... Like, I would like to go like that to put a mode control panel on there, but actually, yep, it's going to get a mode control in the middle there probably, so we'll see. See, where's this? And then I need to come around here. And then generally you do have one step up into the cockpit because they put the cockpit up higher so that you can actually see. So that's mode control in there. I need my 6-pack. Actually, we don't need the mode control, so what it will do is the mode control will go in here, my 6-pack will go here, and then I'll have my footwells there. So that lines up the way I want it. Oh, what did I just delete? Something I don't want to. You go like that. I'll actually cut you and put in a 1x2. And then this is going to be filled, and then this is going to be panels up here. So do I need... Okay, that's good. Then... So get rid of symmetry, and then it'll be essentially overhead, 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 overhead. So we'll do 2 stacks of really wide overhead in there, and that is going to be good. And then we'll do you know, we have space for a 3-wide console there. So that's looking pretty good there. And then... Symmetry coming back on, like so. Like there. And then what we'll do is this will be the end of the cockpit here. So cut out you and you. And that way I can transition without being a pain. Let's see. Where are we at here? I'm trying to see what the hell I'm doing here. What am I missing here? Brain's kind of taking a fart. Let's see. Let's see. We're at pyramid. 4x4 there. There we go. Brain was taking a fart. I couldn't figure out this angle here. There we go. Cut that like so. Bye. And then the cockpit wall will go right there like so to clean up those angles so we don't have to do any transitioning there. And then we'll probably do a 1-4 here. Come on. What am I doing? It goes the other way. Alright, so that is the cockpit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, perfect. So cut a door in there. That should work fine. And then we'll do... Let me fix this. Yeah. So that's good. And then it'll be like kit bag here. Nice. So that shaped up well. So this is going to be a 4-engine turboprop. Height-wise, we're pretty good. We should be able to get into this tail, no problem. A little bit. So what I'll probably do is these panels will move with the door. These sides, that will give me full width to where I want. So I'm not cutting in all the way. So this will go with the ramp. So if we're going to, let's build the ramp up. So I'm going to build the ramp in the up position. And so we would go like so. And then the ramp would be... Getting a chat in a second here, like that. And then so those, let's see here. So the ramp would probably start, it's got to be here or else it's not going to work right, so. I think where I want to bend this from. Yeah, we'll make an extra thick ramp, giggity, and go like this. Let's try this, see how this works for me. Because I want to keep full width. That's kind of the whole point of this is to be able to fit some of my vehicles in. So I need this to work a little bit better than some of the other ones. So it'll be kind of a chubby ass ramp. Just cut it here and try to figure this ramp angle out in a second. Alright, you go across like so. That's gonna be screwy if I do that, so we'll stop the ramp here. I think we still should be fine on height. Where's my ramp gonna end? Right there maybe? I don't know. See, where the hell do I need it to stop? Right up in here. It needs to go... What's this? That's important. That needs to stay. Let's try something, see if this works. So get this ramp kind of just going to see what we're looking at when I'm done here. All right, let's try to tip this ramp, see what we're looking at here. That's the problem with the thick ramp, is they're a pain to bend right. You find the bend pivot point somewhere in here. Double thickness ramp. I don't really think it's. Let's see where we're at here. I'm just gonna put that up as corner sections, I think. Just want to get this ramp figured out here. Okay. So, and then where are we at here? Does this screw everything up if I do it in there? Let's try doing a little bit of a narrow ramp. We'll see if I can get a car in here. If not, I'll have to think about doing it a different way, but we should be all right. All right, let's cut in the ramp. I probably went there to there. And I'll check the width here. Yep, that's it. Okay, and so here is the ramp. All right, so there we are. Let's go ahead and drop it. Oh, that's so fast. Okay, so about there. Hurting a little bit on height because of the back there, but I cut those blocks out. That's not too bad. Let me cut these blocks out. That will fix it up. Where are those? So cut these, and that will fit the ramp in better. Be a little bit of headroom there. I should probably take these 4s with it, but the tail's going to look very thin. So let's see. Trying to cut this height down a little bit. That's kind of my fear. So let's go like this and bring the 4s in as well. I don't want it to be too tall. And we'll test it with a couple cars. See how the entry is. And the longer the ramp is, the less of an angle it, or less of an angle to drop it down. So entry angle is going to be an issue. So that is weird as hell. Yeah, because I'd have to go up in here. Let me see what I can cut in there. I might be able to cut some stuff out of there. I don't think so, though. They're 4s, so I'm not going to be able to cut them out. Nope. Okay. So that goes, this goes, and then we'll put those back in. Cut that off, and then do... Be in chat in a second. Just making some good progress with this. I don't want to take a break yet. Alright, good. So this will go like this. This will go like this. Alright, spawn that. Let's get this down to like there. Alright, and so that's the entry. Not too bad. Good, so let's try to get a car in there. I need to fix one thing just so that I can drive in there. Cut. What is that? Why won't that cut? This should cut right there. Alright, good. So that's in, and let's get a car in here. So let's save this really quick. We'll test this out. So this car is one of my wider, or standard width. So we'll see if this will fit in there. Lately I've been streaming a lot more. I've been streaming. I was streaming pretty much every day. Yeah, I've been streaming every day lately. It varies, but lately it's been every day. Let's go. Alright, so this is the issue with the width has to be right on the money, so that's going to be too narrow. That's fine. So let's try mini trucks next. Because certain vehicles, I still want to have to take out that big VTOL airplane for certain stuff, so the insect is going to be like the size standard. So I have a couple different size cars. I have these, which are one block narrower than the other one, and I have that size car. So those are my two kind of standard sizes. So as long as it takes something like this, we're in business. So that fits in there fine. So that's good. I'm happy with this size. So this is that works perfectly for me. So that ramp is nice. That works. Tail's a little bit abrupt, but I can't do much about that because of the way it's set up. So, but it's not bad. Shape looks nice. I like the tail. Size is good. I don't want it enormous. It's gonna be a low loader. So that will be good. That works really well there. All right, perfect. Kind of enjoying working on this. Let me just check chat. I think I'm caught up. Holy cats. What do you mean the cats from Big Dog? Holy cats. Could you edit the 4S to become a 2S like the rest of the ramps? Yeah. Yeah. 4,700 hours. Sell me short. Pushing 5 here. Alright, so we have this in here. Let's see. So, give me 4 engines. It's going to be a hump wing. So let's go. Now it's going to be named the Albatross, so it should have a big, as long as I can get it. And then I want to, so let's see. So I'm thinking more like C-130 or provider wing. So that's looking pretty proportional. That's good. And then let's go. Where do I want to be here? Probably, I'm thinking there, gone. 4. There. Okay, let's work these wingtips here. So kind of like a C-130 provider tip on there. Okay. Where the hell is it? Right there. Okay. Let's see where I'm at here. It's a very turboprop-ish wing is what I'm looking for. And this should hold fuel for days. There. Let's see. Phone's going off the chain here. How's it going there, Bison? I saw you won the competition there for 454. Might change to battle bit here in a second, guys. Let me see. Just got a message to play the bit, so let's see. Where are we at here? It was an hour ago, though, so he might not have gotten on. Alright, nice. So that is set up. The wings will probably go up a little bit, and they'll go into a hump in the center. That's fine. Let's save this really quick. And then let's grab the stall really quick. I wonder how much of this wing I can take. I'm afraid to make the wing too thin, though. This wing's a little on the thin side for that big of a plane. So let's see where we're at here. Like a C-130 has a pretty thin wing, but this is looking pretty proportional here. That's not a little bit spoony on the end, but we'll see. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just count it with some blocks here. Okay. I don't know the diameter of the props, but that should fit there. Okay, and then let's grab props. Of course, that's 3 there. Let's see, cut you, cut you. Okay. So that's kind of a rough idea what we're looking at there. So I'd finish one wing off and then just duplicated the other side, but that's kind of what we're looking at there. Might actually not even need to raise the wing up. Might do a little bit like more of like this mid wing. Too high, I'm gonna have to put in a ton of prop. Then needs hips. So where we want to start the hips, somewhere in here, thinking. Try there for the hip start. Be back in chat in a second. I'm just kind of grooving here with getting this done. So. That's looking good. I haven't played much Weapons DLC in quite a while. I was doing, Warzone for a little bit, where I was, building some war stuff, but I haven't really been feeling it. not feeling it, I usually don't do stuff. I kind of try to keep it. If I kind of force it, it's not fun for anybody. So if I'm get feeling, or I find like a plane that I really want to build, I'll go back to making some more stuff. But I generally, only do it if I'm really feeling it. This is gonna be interesting to try to connect into here. I might have to XML some blocks in there, but cut this for now like that. What the hell am I looking at here? You gotta go in one. All right. Yeah, this could probably be too sharp. That's too sharp there. Cut that through like that. There we go. So there's the hips for the landing gear. And then we have plenty of space for a nose wheel here. Grab some old stuff. These need to come forward. I need them sitting right about there at the center of gravity at most, but I can move the whole unit, so it's not a big deal. Try to figure out how to match this up. I probably need XML blocks to get that to look, where I want it. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to get this to match up right. Right here. I could use a little work in there, but it's not too bad. Let's see if do I off-center it. Offset it's kind of the question here. Let's see. I can't do that. Might do something like it. Nah, I can't get a 2 in there either. Look right. 2 will look off as well. So. That's not too bad, but I'm going to cut this here. See what I can do here. So let's go. Trying to get this to mate up is kind of tough. See if I'm gonna slide that back one or not. There we go, that matches up pretty nice there. Alright, good. Plenty of gear space in here. I run the same kind of gear I ran on the Night Owl, but just more of them. That lets me keep the deck down low and fill that out, so that should be good there. I'll have fuel for days. So that's it's coming along. Check a little chat. I'm just reading some chat here. Battlefield. Presently, I've been playing a lot of BattleBit. I'm trying to see if I'm switching over to BattleBit here in a second. I sent a message to my brother, see if he's going to play or not. But I'm playing. Might be a little late for him. He sent me a message. It was over an hour ago. But I'm enjoying BattleBit. I think they took over where Battlefield kind of stumbled and made a really good game. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying the shape of it. It is. It is. I know it is. It's moving for me too. Yeah, BattleBit. I'm really liking BattleBit. I'm probably gonna switch over to BattleBit in a second here. We'll see. Yeah, I always go up because generally it gives my mind a second to think about what I'm doing next. Like, you know, I could quickly switch over to like X delete and then up Control Z, and I usually don't do Control Z either. I go up, I delete, because it gives me a second. Like it's a self-imposed delay. I actually have to go up and hit it and make that decision, and then if I want to undo, I go up to the button or redo. So it's kind of prevents me from making big mistakes. So, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't add that much time, but I think it prevents me from making a lot of errors. All right, that goes there like that. This is... Drop that in like so. What's that? Okay, that is the 4 there. So I just kind of do it as a self-imposed delay, so I'm not rushing. All right, that's pretty good there. Yeah, so this is about the size that I'm looking for. I think this would be kind of nice to have this. Well, yeah, like, proportionally it looks pretty good. I think the wing's the right size. Would have been cake if I could have just taken the stalls wing and extended it, but, this has the right wing. I wanted a straight wing. I want this to be a turboprop. 4-engine turboprop. Especially with 4 engines, I need the extra space, but smoothed out pretty nicely. Wings integrated. I kind of like a mid-wing like this. Won't sit up too much higher, so we'll have a little bit of an extra angle on the ramp, but it won't be horrific. Tail came out nice. Yeah, I'm digging it. Double thick wing is going to make it easier to put fuel in there, and it looks proportionally right. Like a single thickness would be too thin. That came out, and then the nice thing with this is I can raise it up quite a bit, so it's going to be easy to put in wheels and everything. So came along pretty nice, I think. Didn't take too much time to get it up to where it's good. And then likely I'm gonna have to move up. See, I just deleted something I didn't want to do. Here, right there. So yeah, that came along nicely. The shape came out nice. Cockpits is spacious and has the right feel. Should be able to get, you know, some seats in here. The other thing I could do is extend the cargo bay. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's do this. Let's cut this, this, this. That has to stay. You go. Oh, excuse me. You go. This cuts all the way through. And then we will cut out to... Where are we at here? New wall will be here. I don't need the cockpit to be that big. And that will increase the cargo capacity. Like, one thing I want to accomplish with this plane is, like, with those pallets, so that I have that palletized system that I can move fuel. So when I need to move fuel from base to base, I use the pallet system. And so this will hold a lot of pallets. So let's save it really quick, and I'll do a pallet count. Let's see, pallets. How many fuel pallets can we fit in here? And I was also going to make a large one. So I've been kind of thinking of this, and that was one of the things I wanted to do, was make a large fuel pallet. So, and the track width will be the same, but we'll just put in bigger stuff. So it'll be 1, and then I want at least a gap between them, which I need one gap just for the hose and the ropes. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. That's good. Again, I don't want this thing to be insanity, but that's 5 fuel containers there. They each hold... What the hell do they hold? They hold something around 2, I think. I'm not... Yeah, about 2,000 liters, something like that. So, you know, there's 8,000 liters of fuel plus whatever this thing carries. You know, and then I can make it even bigger. But, you know, realistically, a plane, you're holding that much fuel, that's 16,000 pounds. You know, so... I don't want them linked together now. They have locks on there, so they lock to the track. So here, like, spawn it in. Oh, didn't like dropping like that. They might be full. So, like, if I go in here, I can set the locks. So they have locks on them. So these are too far forward. Let's push them a little bit. And so they lock into place here on the tracks. And we're all locked up there. So these would go and we'd fly these out. So that's a good cargo capacity on there. We can get some of my smaller vehicles in there. And then if I really want to do like some obscene stuff, we would take the big VTOL. So gives me a good variety of vehicles here. You know, like this thing is quite a bit larger. You know, and so this can hold containers. So you could take 2 containers full of fuel. So that's, you know, considerably more. And this one can land vertically. So I'll go take this for a fast run here. Oh, get in there before I get crushed. This one can self-load containers. So what you do is you bring the container up to the back, and then this will come out. It will lean down. If you see, it will lean down like so. It grabs the container and then lifts it and drags it all the way in. And then you'd leave the container in the front. Like these are marking the containers. These pinks, that's a container. That's a container. And then you can push this out and it can go grab the next container. So you can self-load too with this. And then you have a little bit of a seating area in here. And then a big step up into this cockpit. This thing, I don't know how far along this is for... I started working. I need to finish the... Here's fire test. I need to finish the way this system works. I'm just trying to smooth it out. It's working pretty well, the vertical system, but it's not perfect. So this one, I need to start the APU. So this is what's going to happen with Night Owl is, so see I'm building up pneumatic pressure. I cannot start the engines without enough air pressure. And then what I need to do is I need to APU bleed on, and then I can start my engine. Fuel valve on, starter. So until I do all that, the engines won't start like a real jet. And then we're going to start up 2. Let me just read a little chat here. PS2, yeah. I think PS2 is a little bit outdated. So, like, see, this has the 3 wide panel, and this cockpit is 1 wider than that one we just made. So let's see. Oh, this is right in the money. We're gonna make sure I don't turn it all, or we're not getting out of this hangar. Oof, right there, right on the money. Perfect. You know, so this is considerably larger than that one, so. And this has the cap air wing that I made even bigger, so. Vertical on those. Let's go AP master on. Flaps, where's flaps? Flaps 1. We have all our flaps. So we have flaps and spoilers on this one. For example, I can put up spoilers. Let's see. So there are spoilers on this one, as you can see. So put the spoilers back down. Alright, let's take off from this. Did I hit a trim? I don't think I did. It's just quiet. Okay, I did break this, I think. This is broken. I broke this testing it, so it's doing stupid nonsense. That's why I took a break from it, so. I tried doing something and it broke it, so I gotta fix this. This is, that's not working, so I gotta finish that. I started getting into trying to fix the system, and I screwed it up, so that needs to be fixed. This is so this is the same frame as that. Is this one? So this is like the fuselage of that. This is a conventional cargo plane. You know, so what I might do is turn this one into a ramp, and then you know, run this for standard runs for moving vehicles. You know, this one has more powerful engines than the cap air. Let's see. This one's just standard. This one is no VTOL on it. So, I have a couple of shells I can do things with, but I need to fix this. Like, when I started that plane, it had a tilt wing on it. So twin engine tilt wing, and then this one has a ramp. Yep, this one has a ramp on it. Let's see what else. Need to check this chat. ColecoVision, yeah. Never had ColecoVision. I had Atari. Yeah, I think that hinge door works nicely because I have a container loader. Let me see if I can find the picture. I have a standardized container loader that I use. So I need as you can see, I had that system working fine, and then I had to rip it apart. So here is the, what's this? That's not the container loader. Let me see if I can find the container loader. Here it is. So this is the container loader. So this is, it doesn't quite scissor lift, but it kind of comes up like a scissor lift, and I can load a bunch of my different cargo planes with this. So, you know, I use this to load it, so it just folds the tail out and then load in the containers. The issue is I need, the way the devs did this, I've complained about this a million times, so it's kind of broken record, but they, you know, the way they did this was kind of screwy. For example, if we go out and see what I'm doing here, get out. Let's drop that. So like FJ was a really, and I think they just like, they did a new paradigm shift when they built this continent. They started doing a little bit better things. For example, they made the roads wider, more usable. They made the railroads a little bit more usable. And then, for example, you have FJ. FJ has the airport, train, docks, and it has a big container yard. So, for example, what I think would be awesome is if they updated Tajin and they put the container, or a container port. They don't need to get rid of it, but put a container port up here. And then you could fly in with planes, and then you could spawn your container mover here. Because, for example, like if I wanna load that plane from FJ, I can bring the plane over, and I could spawn the container mover from here or there, and so I can take the plane out, move it over here, bring the container mover, get it in there. The problem is, you know, they have all these containers going up to BVG, which makes sense with a cargo ship, you know, to go invest the 8 hours. But in order to get up there, I have to either have a VTOL, because like I've done this before in the last career build series, is fly the containers up here, land, take them off, and then fly them via helicopter across. And so it's like you're starting to get to the point where it's not worth it anymore. And so, you know, the containers up to BVG are worth, you know, quite a bit more money, but it takes you more time to get up there. So you really need to make it worthwhile to do. And so if they put a container port up here, you know, don't get rid of BVG, just put Tajin. And so you might be able to get 2 containers from FJ to Tajin, grab them, come up here, and that starts to make airplanes worthwhile again. The meta is always like VTOLs because of, you know, some of these choices they made. So, for example, like if they put a container port up here, you could then fly from FJ to here. That would be the only airport that you could do that. So it wouldn't be like it's OP, like everybody only ever flies airplanes, you know, up to the Arctic. You know, you'd have one port, FJ. So you'd have to have FJ to fly in FJ and then grab your containers and come to Tage, and there would be one place to do it, but you would have a place to do it. And I would love to see the devs kind of do like what I did with the pallets, where you have smaller container units, and then that would give you reasons to do airplanes. I would love it if they do an airplane pass, and I've said this, if they want to contact me as an aviation expert, I'd happily explain, you know, some good ways to do some of the stuff. But that would be awesome to have smaller containers that you could put in airplanes. And then they could have some cool mission pop up, like there's a container or there's a village. Like they put some cool villages in here. So where the hell is it? There's one. I think it's right here. So right, where is it? It's not there. It's over here. Chris's Ranch is a cool little village. So like they could do this as like Chris's Ranch has, you know, they could come up with some really cool missions. For example, this is Chris's Ranch, right? So you could say Chris's Ranch has had a viral outbreak. And so you'd have a couple people stuck in their houses here, and they'd all be, they have viral outbreak, and then make a version of the radiation suit that is a, is a biological suit. And you get a mission to fly a supplies. Like you could do hand-loaded boxes, or you could do like a pallet, and your job is to fly them in here. And so you have to build a plane that can go off-field, which I've done. And you come in, you land on the road, which I've done that, and it's been fun. And then you have to take the pallet and put it here, in the area. And so that, gives you something to do. And then you get, some buku money for that. It gives you some engineering challenges. And then you have to build a plane that can handle off-field landings. That sort of stuff would be really cool. I'd like that. Stuff like that would be cool, but some more, making airplanes viable again would be kind of fun, I think. Let's see, negative, what's that, 1 billion liters? Yeah, the Arctic has some cool missions. Some of the issues, though, is the people freeze to death all the time. I actually want to fly up there in the career build series now that I have Night Owl working. But the Arctic could use some love. Especially like I hate how close this is. Like I wish this was down here. They did a good pass on trains up here. Like I don't think it's necessary to have a connection from the rail connection from here to there. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think it's necessary going up to the Arctic. I think it's an eyesore. Yeah, it's fun every once in a while to go up there, but like for example, I did a fuel transfer and it took me from here down to I think it was I came down. Where the hell did I go? No, it was coal. So I went from here all the way down to here with coal, or it would have been here. And I think that took me like, I don't know, an hour and a half or something. And I was going like 75 miles an hour the whole time. So there's plenty of landmass where, if you went from here all the way out to, where the hell does the train go? Train goes all the way up to around here, that's probably an hour. So there's plenty of train there, and you could easily spend an hour riding trains around here. And so the way I wish they would do it is like make this its own island, no connections like this. And if you want to move vehicles, you have to build, like, I've been seeing a lot of people building like transport ships for cars and stuff that have been kind of cool, like landing craft almost. That would be kind of cool. Give you a reason to do that sort of stuff, but kind of, this island is just way too close, man. This should be way down here. And that would then, it would give you a reason to use more airplanes is, you'd be like, okay, well, now the airplane becomes useful. If you wanted to go from here to Tajin, you'd take a plane, yeah, of course it's the type of plane, but they just make it so that you can't have a conventional airplane. You have to have a VTOL. So, like, for me to do containers, I have to go from FJ, and I have to VTOL in here. And I would much rather to do a conventional airplane that I take off and fly, because everything kind of devolves into VTOLs in game. There's plenty of VTOL content, like rescues. Like, yeah, rescues are good for helicopters and VTOLs, but a lot of this cargo stuff, and I like how the game is very open, where, like, if you want to do some stuff that it makes no sense and is super fantasy, that's awesome. They support that, and they should. But also, it would be nice if we could get a little bit more realism, too, if that's how you want to play. And so, for example, realistically, if you're going to take that sort of cargo, you'd take a cargo plane, and you'd fly it up to the airport. And that would be how you do it. And they could have some cool missions where, for example, I would love to see them take some of the stuff they already have in game and just code it in as a mission. For example, you have a cargo container, like a standard cargo container, and it's like, okay, there's a standard cargo container, but it's at a non-standard place like O'Neill. So the mission spawns in a cargo container right here, and you have to find a way to get that cargo container on your plane and then fly it up to Tajin. And so they could make that a mission where you have a cargo container spawn at O'Neill. The cargo container needs to go to Tajin, and it can't just like go to Tajin. It has to go in this box right here at Tajin. So they could have like a drawn out, square, and that's where it has to go. And so you have to actually go up there and make sure you have a vehicle that you can move that container from A to B. And I think that would be kind of something cool. And they have all the parts. That's not a problem. So they could easily do that. For example, like, a ship is viable to take for, say, from JSI Dock up to Tajin. The thing is, your time is a commodity as well. So, for example, if we went there, let's see. Do I have to, some of these are all right. For example, like I do oil. I've run oil from the Arctic down south a couple of times, and it takes 8 hours. And it's actually not a big deal. I set it up, I go to bed. And then my autopilot navigated through all the icebergs, no problem, and got me all the way down with a whole load of oil. And I stopped at the refinery, and it stopped, I think, 2 hours before I woke up. And my generators automatically turn on when the battery goes down. And it didn't burn a lot of fuel. The engine's idled, no problem. Didn't burn a ton of fuel. It burned a normal amount of fuel like you'd have in a real ship. So you could do things like cargo missions like that, but like, so some of these, like, for example, one thing that makes it cool and the way you can kind of force people into trying some different things is, for example, you could have some cargo containers, like this one's 91 minutes. See if we can find some BVG. All right, so this is a BVG 149 minutes. So the likelihood is we're not getting there in 149 minutes. 149 divided by 60, you're talking, that's 2.48 hours. So unless you have like my high speed ship that can hold, look at that hold, 4? I forget how many you put on there. Maybe 2 containers. I can't remember how many I can fit on that thing. But I could, it's 45 nautical miles up to the Arctic, so I could make it in that. That goes about 40 knots. I could make that in about an hour, let's say an hour and a half, to get it down here, load up, head up there, and then do it. So that would be reasonable, for 50 grand. So you say, okay, 100 grand for an hour and a half, that's not bad, and minus fuel and costs. But for example, like if they had a container that needed to go from FJ to Tajin, and it had to be there, they could say it has to be there in 30 minutes. So that would make us so that there's only one way, pretty much, to get a container from FJ to Tajin in 30 minutes, is you have to have a pretty fast plane. And that gives us some engineering difficulties, so it would make you do it. So for example, like if I took, like I'll show you the SkyTim. SkyTim was an old build. Let me see. So like the SkyTim was a helicopter with pusher props that was designed to do that very thing. But it only goes 120 knots. So like here's the SkyTim. Where is it? SkyTim right there. So like the SkyTim is designed to haul 2 containers up to the Arctic, but it only goes 120 knots. So if I had a mission to bring that container up there in the next 30 minutes, that's likely not going to happen. And so what you'd have to do is you'd have to have a plane. So I'd have to take my cargo plane and fly it up there and make the reward high enough that it's worth it. But that would be kind of cool to do. So, but stuff like that I think would be some easy missions for them to add. One of the things that's currently a problem in game is they put in surge pricing, and they've yet to fix that. So for example, like there's no point to go up to the Arctic to run any sort of commodity right now except containers, because it's like you're selling oil for $1. You're selling, where's diesel? I think the diesel sells still cheap. Coal still sells for $2, which is the same as O'Neill. And diesel sells for $3, so it's not worth it. Before, diesel was like $8. So it made sense for you to take diesel from the south and head all the way up to the Arctic because you got such a good price advantage. And it made sense kind of from a realistic perspective is, yeah, this is the middle of nowhere. Not a lot of people live up here, so of course it's going to be scarce to get those resources up there. So yeah, you're getting, you're getting good money for doing that run up there. Let's see. So eventually, hopefully they'll fix this surge pricing. But yeah, I'm going to finish up a chat, and then I might switch over to BattleBit for a little bit. Yeah, so that would give us more use of the Arctic. I think they could really do some, they really could do some stuff to add some cool missions that kind of give you a reason to build things like airplanes. Like, for example, my Cap Air jet goes 300 knots. It burns a lot of fuel, but it burns realistic fuel, what a real jet would make. And so the benefit of the Cap Air jet is it goes 300 knots. And so if you had, hey, we have a VIP client at FJ Warner, and they need to get to Tajin right away, and it has to be done in the next 30 minutes. So what's that mean? You have to get to FJ. You have to put this person in a seat. So that means you could have a small little corporate jet that goes super fast, fly down to FJ, put that person into the seat, and then scream up to the Tajin and get them there ASAP. And that would be a really cool mission. By putting a big time constraint on it, it would be a good risk reward. And so say you don't make it up there in time, well, you just burned a ton of fuel to get this person up there, and you wasted fuel. Now you need fuel to get back. And so, but it's got a good good reward on it. So it would make sense that you have a vehicle that goes 300 knots. And so, like, for example, I don't have any corporate jets because it doesn't make any sense. Like a Cap Air, I'll show you my Cap Air stuff now. So currently, Cap Air is running the Twin. The Twin is wildly efficient. So the piston Twin This thing is wildly efficient. This is what's been in Cap Air lately. This thing, to fly from Draymore down to Ender, I think I used 18 gallons. So we're talking triple that, so 60, what are we talking? So about 90 liters I used. And this thing will go just under 200 knots in cruise. So, you know, and that wasn't even high economy cruise. That was like fast cruise. I only burned like 90 liters. And so, you know, something like this is fast and it does that. But could I make that 30-minute time frame up there? No, I'm not fast enough. I need to go probably 300 knots to get up there in time, because I can get it down to 15 minutes. So I have to get the FJ, load the person up, head up there, and then I have to land, and I have to get the person off in that amount of time. So it makes sense. You know, Cap Air, let's see what else we have for Cap Air. So here's the Cap Air jet. So what makes this efficient, or what makes this viable, financially viable, is the reason this is financially viable is it has that many seats. So this has 50 seats, 40 seats. And so this is financially viable because I can fill it. And this is not financially viable if I don't fill it. And it used to be a lot of fun because what I used to have to do is ferry fuel. So like say I'd fly from FJ up to, well, before the new Stormlink unofficial came out, which the unofficial one has the arid biome, but I used to fly from, say, here were my two most profitable airports, to fly up to Tajin. And then I'd fly up to Tajin, well, back before surge pricing got broken. Now, like, let's see, what can we buy jet fuel here? So jet fuel is only $4. It used to be like 16 bucks, something like that. So it was absolute, like, literally, I could not make a profit flying a full jet up here for 16 bucks, and that made perfect sense. That happens in real life. So I could fly the Cap Air jet from FJ up to here, and then about 3/4 of the way back, so probably about to here, on one tank. And so what I would do is I would fill it to the gills like they do in real life, and then you'd fly up there, and then I'd only fill up my tank enough to get to make sure I could make it back. So I would put in, like, say, 10%. And I'd pay out the nose, but that kept it profitable. You know, if I didn't do that, it wouldn't be profitable. And so that's kind of fun. And then I made the turboprop. So where is it? Here's the Cap Air turboprop. And like with most turboprops, it's very efficient. So this can go up to the Arctic and back, and I think halfway up again. And so the whole reason I built this was so it made sense because I could go up, down, and then I think I go to like here. And that allows me to fly up there, and when the jet fuel cost 16 bucks a liter, it didn't matter because I could still make it back and then buy the cheap jet fuel. And so that made sense to me. So these kind of cool engineering things, you want to do these because they had those restrictions. And so, like, making the Arctic incredibly expensive fuel-wise made you have to engineer solutions to these problems. And so that is really, that's really cool, and it kind of, helps you figure out what you want to do in game. Why are the icebergs so weirdly placed? What do you mean? They seem fine to me. I don't know what you mean with the icebergs. Yeah, I think it would be super cool, like the pallet that I made. If you had something like that, I can take that pallet in the Seagull, in the stall airplane. I can take it in Night Owl. I'm going to be able to take them in this. And that makes it so that you can really kind of do some airplane stuff. To make an airplane that can hold a cargo container is a big pain. It has to be an enormous airplane just because the container is large. You need 2 blocks above the container, so you need at least 13 block gap height-wise in the cargo hold. Plus you need 11, and then if you want to walk around it, you need 4 more on top of that. So you need 15 wide, so 17 wide just to get the cargo containers in there and be able to walk around them. So that really makes them... see you later, big dog. Thanks for hanging out. So you really need to build a big plane. So by putting a smaller standard there, you can get some smaller planes. And then you can do some cool stuff like I was talking about, off-field stuff, where they're like, hey, go to this village. Like, they put some cool villages in here, man. Like that... like Chris's Ranch. They have a bunch around here, and they're kind of like, you know, Personaggio's farm, for example. Like, I don't even know if I know this off the top of my head, but like they could have some really cool things in here. You know, these little villages, they could do so many cool missions in here, like deliver supplies, like, you know, medical supplies or that, or like, you know, hey, there are a bunch of people sick at Personaggio. We need you to bring, you know, vaccine. And so they could make a health kit that is coded in a different color, that only that health kit will work on those people. And so, you know, they give you a crate of those health kits, and you have to go down there and heal them all up. And so that would be kind of a cool thing for them to do. Let me just read some more chat. Yeah, base building islands. I really like the base building stuff. That kind of annoys me is, it doesn't annoy me. I really like the base building, but like I was talking about here before, is the issue is like this one only has that ability to launch something in the sea. So like if I want to launch Katydid, if you remember last career build series, I would launch Katydid on a barge, and then I would fly Katydid off onto the helipad, and then I would despawn the barge separately. So that was a big pain. So I'd have to spawn the barge, pull the barge out. Then I would have to what the hell? I can't remember how the hell I did it. Oh, yeah, that's because it was outside. So it was a pain, man, to do that sort of thing. Where, like, they should have a helipad spawn area up here. They should have two. Now, I talked about this before where, for example, my idea that I think would be super cool, right? So Sawyer South's one of the biggest pains to do containers because there's no place to spawn a crane. So like I have my ship loader. So if I could spawn that, I could drive the ship loader out, come, unload, unload, load, load, and then despawn that and move on my way. Can't do that. So one idea I had that would be kind of cool and easy for the devs to do is they already have that static vehicle workbench like they have at those custom bases. Put one right here and let me spawn in the static base, and I could spawn my crane every time I want to load and unload with the crane, and then put, like, if you look at the gas stations, we have workbenches, a couple free ones on the arid biome. Put an outside, you know, vehicle workbench here where I can spawn container mover, go over, move the containers, get new containers, put them there, use the crane, and then despawn everything I'm not going to use. You know, you could just drive away and they despawn on their own, as well as if you don't want to see them popping in and out of the world. But stuff like that is really, I think, would make things a lot more usable. Their logistics is not great. I don't think they really understand proper logistics all that well, so it'd be nice if they do some of these passes on that. Yeah, definitely make, you know, planes more viable is something I would love to see. Yeah, that autopilot works well on the tanker ship. It had no problem going through there. I see a retracted message from Mr. G. Very impressive fuel uses on that smaller cap airplane. Yeah, that is that runs a 9-to-1. Most of my propellers, like my small propellers, will run around a 9-to-1 gear ratio. And then the way you're supposed to set up your propeller blades, here I'll launch that really quick and show you. A lot of people don't understand how to set up propeller blades correctly, and so let me see if I can grab the Mooney chart. Mooney prop settings. So a lot of this, you know, it just makes sense. People don't know these things because, of course, you know, most people, you know, didn't learn how to fly, and most people don't learn how to fly complex aircraft. That is something that, you know, even fewer people learn, and, you know, and then even fewer people go into really complex aircraft. I'm trying to see if there's a prop setting chart. Usually, okay, here's one. So much of it is keyword. So let's see. I think this is the chart I want. Let me see it. I'll bring it up to you guys in a second. I'm just trying to find a reasonable one that I can actually see. Cruise power settings. Here it is. This chart is not super easy to see, but I'll show you guys. Of course, because it's tiny as hell. Oh my god, that's terrible. Come on, give me one I can use, guys. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. This one's good. Alright. So I'll show you guys this in a second here. So Like this is what you have when you're doing your prop settings. So what is this for? I'm trying to see what plane this is. It's on Reddit, of course. So what you essentially do is you have your altitude in feet, you have your temperature, you have your engine speed in RPM, your manifold pressure. So when you go to a complex airplane and a constant speed propeller, you read manifold pressure, and all that essentially tells you is how much power you're using on the engine. And so it's just in inches of mercury. It will tell you here. And then what you're doing is you're actually controlling the RPM of your engine with the propeller. As you make the blade take a bigger bite out of the air, it's putting more resistance on the engine, which reduces your RPM. So as you increase, so essentially what you do is you set with your lever the RPM you want. And then there are these weights, they're fly weights. So the faster the propeller moves, or the faster the rotation of it, the more the weights will go out, of course, because of centrifugal force. And that moves the valve. And so when you set, you have it's called a set screw. You use your lever and you set the RPM you want. So for example, right here, let's say we're taking off at sea level, we'd be, everything would go forward anyway, but we'd take off, we're at 2,000. We want to set our engine RPM with our propeller to 2450. And we want to set our manifold pressure to 20.4. So first thing you do is you bring your manifold back to 20.4. So you'd bring your throttle lever back until you read 20.4 on the gauge. And then you bring your propeller back until it was at 2450. Now, if you put your nose down in the airplane, gravity is helping you, right? You have less resistance because you're working with gravity. That's going to start to speed up the propellers because you're going to be going faster. What's going to happen is it's going to automatically adjust them. It's going to increase the blade pitch to maintain that lower RPM setting. And so that's what I've done in my planes. As you get up to higher altitudes, let's say 16,000 feet, your manifold pressure is going to drop because the air pressure is dropping. So we're down to 16.1. Engine speeds at 2450. Let's see where we're at here. These are all running the same engine RPM. I don't know what the hell that's all about. These should change, so I don't know what the deal is here. This is probably, I don't know what the deal is with this. This chart's a little funky. But essentially, you'd read a chart like this, and you'd be like, okay, at 8,000, I need, or here, let's read this one, 19.2 manifold, and then this should be a different number. I don't know why it's the same. And that would, and then if you look over here, it says GPH, that's gallons per hour. And so, as you increase the blade pitch, you should, so essentially you have different settings. You have takeoff, everything's forward. Max throttle, except if it's in a bigger plane. Prop goes full forward. And so as soon as you get up in the air, you start to bring your prop back. And so your max speed is a lower prop setting than takeoff. So you have a really thin blade on takeoff, so you can change the RPM very fast in the engine, but you're not taking a big bite out of the air. Then as you bring it back, you're actually going to go faster. Then if you go even further back on your prop, you're going to be giving it so much blade pitch that it's going to slow the engine down, and that's going to save you fuel. So like if I show you, let's go back in here. So like the way the Cap Air jet's set up is, or this twin, you know, your max speed is between, so they call it max efficiency and max cruise setting. So let's find it. I'll go through it as we fly it here. So this has just the new bearing panel sitting on top there. So ignore that wart that it has sitting on its roof. So this is like the size of a Navajo, Viper Navajo. So like this has a very minimal blade pitch when we go to take off. What is it? I think I still have the, I don't know if I have the parking brake on, I can't tell. Looks like no. So we taxi out here. And so we would have our prop all the way forward, which is giving us a very little bite. I think on this plane it's 0.1 pitch on the blades to start with. And so we'll go and notch the flaps. Let's go now. Strobes, landing taxis coming on. So this actually has a pretty realistic takeoff roll too, because the prop takes such a small bite out of the air, it takes you a little while to accelerate because, you know, it's not doing a ton of work. So, airspeed's alive. I need to put in a stability system for the steering. Alright, so there we go, V1, rotate. So you notice that's a realistic takeoff roll because it's taking a tiny bite out of the air. And if you look, we're at 79 knots, put the flaps up. And that, one of the reasons you want to start slow like that is you don't want to overspeed the flaps. Let me put the volume down low so you guys can hear me better. Alright, so now you see we're going slow. Now as I bring the prop back with my 2 key, notice the speed's picking up. I'm taking a bigger bite. I'm asking the plane to give me a smaller RPM, so it's giving me more blade pitch. I need to trim like crazy in this plane. There we go. And then start bringing the prop back some more, and you'll notice our speed's picking up, picking up, picking up. And then I'm going to just keep it coming back, and at some point you'll notice we'll get slower. So we're at max speed pitch now. And then as I keep going, we're going to actually probably start slowing down. There we go. See me start slowing down? So we've passed the max speed, and now we're into max efficiency. So what it's doing is it's adding so much blade pitch that the engine can't keep up anymore, but that lowers the RPM, which gives us greater efficiency. And so I have a PID. The PID's controlling the propeller pitch to maintain the RPM for me. And so then in real life, you start bringing your throttle back, so I'm starting to bring my throttle back. And the smoke goes out, we know we're at a good throttle setting, and so my cruise is 163. If I want to go a little faster, I actually push the prop up a little bit. And so you see we gained a couple knots there. So this is, you know, that's why it's so efficient, is this has, as you can see, it's maxed out on blade pitch now. And so this is at max efficiency. And so what's our RPM? Let me see if I can find it. RPM's faked, so I can't tell what the RPS is. But that gives me a really nice, efficient cruise on this. You know, and so that's something I needed to do on this. This only holds 5 passengers. And so for the Stormlink, I need to be able to keep the fuel burn down, or I'm not going to be making any profit. And so the whole point with why I built this was I wanted to start out with a small plane that I could, so you start out with 20 grand in a new save, right? So I needed a plane that I could start with 20 grand and make enough profit that eventually I could put in a, buy a new airplane, essentially. So I need to actually make some good profit to be able to, progress in cap air. And so that's why I went with something super efficient like this, is this thing, this thing is super fuel efficient. And it actually has quite a bit of fuel, and it has 70 gallons per side, and I barely burned any fuel so far. And then when you're coming into land, you want to start pushing your prop forward again. You want low pitch, high RPM, so I'm holding the 1 key, pushing my prop forward, and you notice, watch the speed. As I'm decreasing the blade pitch, my RPM, I'm unloading my engine, the RPM's coming up. Let's put the gear down. This is a really slow gear drop. Now we're in the white arc, so we start putting down flap. And now we're full, what do you call it? Prop is full forward. And so now it's taking a very little bite out of the air. And so now I can have a realistic approach speed. And like I was talking about, you want low pitch, high RPM, so that watch how quickly I can change my speed. That's because the propeller, so see that, the propeller, it's not taking a very big bite out of the air, so I can very easily change my speed because it's not trying to push so much air. And that's what you want, because a couple of the cap air videos, I started sinking too fast, and so I needed to quickly add some speed. And if it was taking too big of a bite out of the air, you wouldn't be able to change the speed of your engine quick enough, and you crash. And so that's why this is how it works IRL, is you want that low blade pitch so you can easily change the speed of your engine. That's why I talk about, not putting a flywheel on an airplane, is you do not want it to maintain, you want it to be able to quickly change when you need that dynamic speed change. So this is a nice slow approach speed. 75 is probably about right. They'd probably actually be around 90 IRL, so it's a little bit slower than IRL, but that's nice. It lets me get into some of the smaller airports. So like here we are, lined up perfectly. Watching my speed. My airspeed's the most important thing. I'm right on stall. So once I go below that green zone, we're in stall. So we're gonna come in, start pulling back gently, flare, 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 touchdown. A little bit rough on that. Trying to land a little bit flatter because, like I was talking about this in one of my videos, in real life, the prop wash is hitting your rudder, so you can actually steer with that nose wheel off the ground, and I'm trying to land a little harder to try to get that nose wheel on the ground because in game I need the nose touching or else I can't steer. So I need to get the nose down, so I've been kind of plopping it lately, trying to see if I can get a good angle to try to get that nose wheel down because I can't steer without it because I get too slow. But this is set up like a realistic plane. You notice how thin that blade pitch is. And that's all set up by the PID. The PID just controls that. But this works really well now, so. Now, let's read a little chat. Which issue is this, Mr. G? Boats. Yeah, I think, you know, boats are certainly viable, and they have good uses on them. You know, the JSIs help. You know, one of the things that's kind of cool is you can stay down here and do a ton of work. You could go from JSI up to FJ. You could then go over to Urine Wind, and you never have to leave this biome. You can also go here where you could head from south to north over to Komodo to Spy Cakes, and you can do plenty of boat stuff there. And then, you know, theoretically, if they made long enough timers for BBG, what you could do is, I've tried this before, where you take, like, say you take a barge or a container ship, and you would go pick up all the BVG, pick up all the FJ, head up here, drop off the FJ and all the Urine Wind, come up here, drop off the FJ, pick up any BVG and Urine Wind, head over here, drop off the Urine Wind, pick up any, say, Komodo, head up here, pick up any, you know, BVG as well. Pick up BVG, drop off any Komodos, and then head up to the Arctic. And, you know, you'd be pretty full of BVG at that point. But it's a long, arduous journey, you know, so you have to kind of want to do that. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, think of it this way, you know, if you had a bigger paddle in a canoe, right, a really big paddle, you'd have to take fewer strokes, right? So every stroke, you need a lot of muscle to pull through, but you'd be able to do like stroke, 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 and because you're pushing so much water, it's very efficient. If you had a really thin, tiny little blade on your paddle, you'd be going stroke, 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 stroke to get the same efficiency, same speed in the water, and you'd be burning through calories like a maniac because you're moving so fast. And so that if you convert it over to machines, you know, the calories are fuel. So by doing that high RPM, you burn a ton of fuel. So if you can get that RPM down and take a bigger bite out of the air, you're able to increase your efficiencies. All right, so let's see. I think I'm going to do a little battle bit. So I'm going to end the stream and take like a little, maybe 10-minute break. And then I'll be in battle bit. So if you guys want to, oh, thank you. Appreciate it, Connor. If you guys want to catch me over in BattleBit, I'll be back on. I'm just going to put it on. I'm going to end the stream so that if you don't know, these streams come up as a video later. And so I don't want it to be half Stormworks, half BattleBit. So I'll end the stream and I'll go ahead and I'll start the stream back up as the streaming soon. I'm just going to get a drink, go to the bathroom, and I will start up BattleBit. So if you guys are interested in watching some BattleBit, I will just kind of reconfigure the stream and I'll be on that. So see you guys in a little bit, and those of you who are going, I will see you guys later. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll throw a quick ad on there as I get this set up, and then I'll see you in BattleBit. And if you guys are leaving for the evening, have a good evening.